What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's an overcast day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, as it's a Wednesday, today's review is going to be a WTF Wednesday review. For those of you who may be new to the show, WTF Wednesday is the one day a week when I showcase a beer that I normally wouldn't on the program. Sometimes that means I do stuff from the big boys like Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I try interesting offerings from microbreweries. And more recently, I've been trying to get those passport stamps up and get some new international beers. Now, this one's going to fall into the first category, as this is Hamm's beer from the land of sky blue waters. And this is made by Miller Brewing Company out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, let's see what else we have on here. It just says Hamm's Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but this is a subsidiary, obviously, of Miller. And this was actually a request. One of the viewers had asked me to do this maybe a month or so ago. I was able to locate it and figured I would give it a shot, as this seems to be an American classic. Now, this is a beer that I've had it once or twice in the last couple years, just at random parties or something like that. But it's not something that I saw growing up. So Hamm's wasn't one of the macro beers that was on the shelf near me. Now, maybe it was, and I just wasn't paying attention, but I don't remember seeing this up until the last few years in Ohio. And again, I grew up in Philly, but I didn't really see it out that way. But if it's a classic American beer, got to give it a shot, so thrilled to be able to give it a try. This comes in at 4.7% ABV, nothing listed on IBUs. As far as ratings, it doesn't do very well. Untappd it at a 2.76. Beer Advocate at 2.93 is a little more respectable, but that kind of makes it a perfect candidate for WTF Wednesday beer review. Now, I'm trying to get some head on this thing. Let's see what we got going on. Not bad. Managed to get a little bit of head on there. As far as the color, I would say this is very light, pale straw, maybe a 2 or a 3, maybe a straw color, maybe 3. I'll give it a 3. Fair amount of carbonation in there. You see some fine bubbles. It's not crazy with the carbonation, but a decent amount of carbonation. Head, I got 2+ fingers, meaty fingers here of white frothy head. You can see tons of bubbles in the head there. It looks all right. I mean, it looks like macro beer-esque, right? I mean, it just kind of looks beer-colored. It's what you kind of expect. Now, the head didn't dissipate super quickly, so that's kind of nice. Now, what else did I find on this? They did have ingredients list. I don't remember if I saw it on the can. Yeah, it is on the can. Water, barley malt, corn syrup, and it says maltose, yeast, and hops. Corn syrup is used as part of the brewing process only. Hamm's never uses high fructose corn syrup. What else would it be used in? It's only used in the brewing process. Isn't that the only part that I really care about on a beer, the brewing process? Is what it is. It's a macro. I kind of expected it to be corn-based in some way, shape, or form. I just never saw somebody try to talk their way out of being a corn-based product by pretending that it was only used in the brewing process of a beer. Of course it's the part that it would be used in. Looks all right. Let's give it a sniff. There's not a ton going on. I mean, I think I described it earlier, saying it just looks like generic beer. Kind of smells that way, too. You do get a bit of sweetness, and I assume that's from the corn syrup there. Usually that sweetness I associate with corn. It's like an adjunct type of smell. But it's not overpowering or off-putting on the nose, so it smells all right. And I think this was a 6-pack of Tall Boys that I got, and I think it might have been, I think it was about $5 or maybe like $4.79 or something like that. It was around $5 or slightly under for a 6-pack of Tall Boys. Nose is all right. It's not offensive. All right, let's give it a shot. Cheers. And I went with the jam jar. Slurpy Dave will appreciate that. Seems appropriate for an American classic. Oh. Now, first things first, body is okay. Body is like medium. Lower end of medium light. But again, that hurt. You ever swallow something that goes down like the wrong pipe there? I don't know if there's like 2 sips of Hamm's now in one of my lungs, but that didn't feel good. Oh. Like I said, body, medium light, what you'd expect on an American adjunct lager. Flavors, they're not that bad, to be honest. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Whenever I get an adjunct beer, like a macro adjunct beer, it's kind of like, how sweet is this going to be and how gross is it going to be? And I will say this thing isn't great, but it's not off-putting. It's not nasty. It's just kind of there. Flavors, you probably get a little bit of like a bready or a crackery malt. It's kind of like a lighter malt flavor. You do get a sweet bit of that adjunct sweetness, the corn sweetness that I don't really care for, but it's not dialed up so high that it would be off-putting. Oh, pardon me. I will say this, it's making me burp already. I haven't had a beer in a couple days because school's starting back up, but this one just made me burp after a sip or two. Oh, let's see what else we got. Hops. It says hops. I don't know that you get a hop finish, but you do definitely get some bitterness, and I think the bitterness is kind of the gross part of this. I don't think that it's a nice bitter taste. It's kind of like, I don't know, a slightly off-putting bitterness at the end. That being said, I don't think that it's so overpowering that it destroys the entire beer, but it does kind of knock it down a little bit in that regard. So for me, Hamm's by Miller Brewing Company on this WTF Wednesday, I would give this an A. It's okay. I'm not kind of measuring this against the heady toppers and the best beers in the world. But if you stack this up against other macros, I would say it's okay. It's drinkable. It's not a drain pour, but it's probably not something that I would seek out, which I probably kind of assumed coming in, as that's what you're dealing with a macro lager. Why are guys drinking this? Well, I mean, the economy is number one. The economy's crap right now, and a lot of people simply can't afford $7 a beer, myself included. I've been going to a lot less breweries than I have been in past years, and I find myself drinking a lot more macro stuff. I've been drinking a lot more Yingling and stuff like that than the usual beers that I would seek out simply for economic reasons. The other is availability. So if I was at a ballpark or something and they were offering this, would I drink one? Sure, absolutely. Would I drink more than one? Yeah, probably. I'd probably drink enough till they threw me out of the stadium, right? But you'd have a few of them. You'd have fun. It's not off-putting. It's kind of what I would think of as a typical American adjunct lager. It's okay. So, for the beer. Hopefully you don't think the video is If you do, it's okay. Luckily there's no button, so you got to pick thumbs up or thumbs down. We'll have to see which way I lean there, right? But if you do like the video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. I hate begging for subs, but it does help the channel. Smaller channels, even once we get over that 1,000 subscriber threshold, you have to have a view hour count. So subs and view hours actually mean a lot, especially for smaller channels like mine. So if you do like the videos, and you don't mind, please hit the like and sub button. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had Hamm's? Is this available where you live? If it is, let me know if you've had it and where you live. I'd be interested to see where the reach of this is. Obviously, Miller is a huge... pardon me. This is getting me burping like crazy. Obviously, Miller is a huge company, has nationwide and international reach. I'd love to know what corners of the country or even the world Hamm's makes it. So let me know down below. Hey, till next time. Cheers.